Have you ever looked into your aquarium and noticed strange colors spreading across the rocks or a slimy texture coating the glass? Almost every aquarium keeper faces algae at some point. But what if I told you that not all algae are bad and that knowing exactly which type you are dealing with could save your tank from disaster? In this video, we will explore 5 types of aquarium algae, some of which are harmless and even beneficial, while others can quickly turn your beautiful aquascape into a nightmare. The surprising part is that with the right approach, you can control them without using harsh chemicals. The only thing I ask in return is to click the subscribe button. Most people think algae simply appear because of poor maintenance, but the truth is much more complex. Every species of algae has its own preferred conditions, and understanding those conditions is the key to prevention. For example, some algae thrive in bright light, while others love low-flow areas where debris collects. Some feed on excess nutrients like nitrate and phosphate, while others can survive even in what we would call clean water. This is why 2 tanks with the same maintenance routine can have completely different algae problems. Now, before we jump in, I will reveal which algae type is the silent tank killer and which one can actually help balance your aquarium ecosystem. You will be surprised by how misunderstood some of these species are. Stay with me until the end, because this knowledge could completely change how you care for your aquarium. One of the most common types you will encounter in freshwater aquariums is green spot algae. This algae forms small, hard green spots on the aquarium glass, plant leaves, and even decorations. It is slow growing, but incredibly stubborn once established. Unlike softer algae that can be wiped away, easily green spot algae clings firmly and requires more effort to remove. This algae thrives in aquariums with strong lighting, especially when the photo period is too long and when phosphate levels are too low. Many aquarists are surprised by this because they expect high nutrients to cause algae, but in the case of green spot algae, low phosphate is often the trigger. When phosphate is limited, plants struggle to grow efficiently, and the imbalance gives green spot algae the advantage. If you have ever seen tiny green dots forming a tough layer on Anubias leaves or the front glass, you are likely dealing with this species. The bad news is that it will not simply go away with regular water changes. The good news is that you can control it with a balanced approach. From my decades of experience, the most effective prevention is to ensure your phosphate levels stay within a healthy range for plants. Typically, this means around 0.5 to 1.0 parts per million for planted tanks. You can test and dose phosphate fertilizers as needed. Adjusting your lighting schedule is also critical. Reducing the light period to 6 or 7 hours a day can make a huge difference without harming your plants. For existing outbreaks, mechanical removal is key. Use a razor blade or algae scraper on glass and gently rub plant leaves with your fingers or a soft cloth during water changes. Be careful not to damage delicate plants. Over time, as you restore nutrient balance and optimize lighting, the algae will stop spreading and gradually disappear. If left unchecked, green spot algae can make your aquarium look aged and dirty, but with proper nutrient management and lighting control, you can keep it from ever becoming a serious problem. Blackbeard algae, also known as BBA, is one of the most feared pests by freshwater aquarists because it can cover rocks, driftwood, leaf edges, and even equipment such as filters and heaters, forming dark tufts that look like small black beards. Its texture is dense, and it clings tightly to any surface, making it difficult to remove mechanically. This type of algae thrives in conditions where there are fluctuations in CO2 levels or instability in nutrients and light. I have seen perfectly planted tanks lose their healthy appearance within weeks due to inconsistency in CO2 injection or sudden changes in lighting intensity. BBA is opportunistic, and any variation opens the door for it to spread. One of the keys to preventing it is to maintain a constant, stable CO2 level, whether you use pressurized injection or a more basic yeast-based method. Stability is more important than achieving high levels. Another critical point is to avoid sudden spikes in intense light without the accompanying nutrients and CO2 necessary for plants to use that energy. When the infestation is already present, there are several effective control methods. One is to apply hydrogen peroxide or liquid glutaraldehyde directly to BBA colonies using a syringe during maintenance. This kills the algae, and within a few days it changes from black to a reddish or whitish tone, indicating it has died, then fish or shrimp will usually consume the remains. In planted tanks, the best long-term defense is direct competition from fast-growing plants combined with stable parameters. A school of Siamese algae eaters or a mono shrimp can help keep it under control, but they will not completely remove it if the main causes persist. If left unchecked, black-beard algae can ruin the appearance of the aquarium by covering the beauty of plants and decorations, but with disciplined maintenance and stability and parameters, you can prevent it from appearing or eradicate it before it becomes a serious threat. Hair algae, also known as filamentous algae, is one of the most common and visually invasive types you can encounter in an aquarium. Its long green threads can quickly attach to plants, decorations, rocks, and even the substrate, creating a tangled mass that not only looks unattractive, but can also smother plants by blocking light and competing for nutrients. This algae thrives in environments with excess light, high nutrient levels, especially phosphates and nitrates, and low CO2. The main causes often include overfeeding fish, infrequent water changes, and an imbalance between lighting duration and plant growth rate. In tanks with poor plant health, hair algae finds the perfect opportunity to take over, especially when strong lighting is combined with slow-growing plants. Prevention starts with maintaining a consistent cleaning schedule, controlling feeding portions, and ensuring your aquarium has adequate CO2 and balanced fertilization. Trimming affected plant leaves and manually removing strands during maintenance is crucial. Reducing light intensity or duration can also help starve the algae of the energy it needs to grow. Natural predators like a mono shrimp, Siamese algae eaters, and certain species of mollies are effective allies in controlling hair algae. However, this should be used as part of a broader strategy that addresses the root cause. Introducing fast-growing plants can also outcompete the algae for nutrients, making it harder for it to reestablish. Hair algae is not just a cosmetic issue. It is a clear indicator that something in your tank's balance needs adjustment. Address the cause, not just the symptom, and you will prevent it from returning. Diatoms, often referred to as brown algae, are a common sight in newly established aquariums, especially during the first few months of the nitrogen cycle. They appear as a soft, brownish film covering glass, plants, decorations, and even the substrate. Although they're not technically algae, but a type of photosynthetic organism with a silica-based cell wall, they behave in ways similar to algae, making them a concern for many aquarists. Their growth is fueled primarily by an abundance of silicates in the water, which can come from tap water, new substrates, or certain types of sand and rocks. Low light conditions, combined with elevated nutrients like nitrates and phosphates, create the perfect environment for diatoms to thrive. They are more common in freshwater aquariums, but can also appear in saltwater systems. While diatoms are usually a temporary problem in new tanks, they can also reappear in mature aquariums if the source of silicates is not addressed. They can slow plant growth by coating leaves and blocking light, and they make the aquarium look dirty and neglected. Prevention and control begin with using purified or reverse osmosis water to reduce the introduction of silicates. Regular water changes, cleaning the glass with an algae scraper, and improving water circulation help limit their spread. Increasing light intensity gradually and adding live plants can also reduce their dominance by promoting other types of microorganisms that outcompete diatoms for resources. In terms of natural control, certain fish and invertebrates like Otocinclus catfish, nerite snails, and some species of plecos are highly effective at cleaning diatom-covered surfaces. However, the most important solution is patience and maintaining a stable, balanced aquarium environment. Over time, as the tank matures and silicate levels drop, diatoms naturally diminish and disappear. Diatoms are often the first challenge new aquarists face, but they also serve as a reminder that every aquarium goes through stages of balance. Understanding this process will make you a better and more patient aquarist in the long run.